What's good, YouTube? And welcome to the set everyone's already calling Rarity Collection 3, but Konami had a little oopsie with Rarity Collection 2 and decided to rebrand Quarter Century Bonanza. You get a Quarter Century Secret Rare, you get a Platinum Secret, you get a Quarter Century Secret Rare, and all at $5.99 per pack. Not that $9.99 that Rarity Collection 2 was at. Ignore that you're spending more per card with 5 per pack. I have heard people already say, I don't know why, but it's easier to stomach the per pack price rather than the per card price. And that's because Rarity Collection 2 had a structural problem where they shoved more of it down your throat than ever, creating one of the most expensive boxes in Yu-Gi-Oh! History. However, this will still be pretty up there in terms of box prices with that upped MSRP. But how are they offsetting that? By making you gamble. Hit the jackpot with guaranteed luxury secret rares with Quarter Century Bonanza. Time for everybody to hit the jackpot. Yeah, you're all gonna buy it, aren't you? Quarter Century Bonanza picks up where the Rarity Collection set left off with a bunch of new twists. Get ready for a wild ride because we've got a lot to unpack. They are even doing the subtle unpack. Come on, you want to do packs, not the singles. Here's what's new. Quarter Century Bonanza packs are 5 cards per pack like the first Rarity Collection, but we've replaced one super rare in every pack with a guaranteed luxury secret, either Platinum or Quarter Century. That guaranteed luxury secret in each pack is from a special, separate 200 card nostalgia pool that is available only in luxury secret rares and is independent from the standard 78 card set that is also in the pack. Quarter Century Bonanza is 2 sets in 1. Now, 200 sounds daunting. It sounds like a lot versus the usual set, but because it's in every pack, we're going to math that later, and it might shock you how easy it is to get Quarter Centuries versus, say, the core sets out of this very large pool. We're printing this 200 card nostalgia pool because Quarter Century Secret Rares are only here during the 25th anniversary until we do the 30th, and we know that you have a lot of cards you want to see as Quarter Century Secret Rares before that change goes away forever until the 30th. The last call for Quarter Century Secret Rares is coming, so let's kick everything into overdrive starting right now. Why I keep bringing up the 30th is the OCG had a 20th rare and it was extremely popular. We didn't do that here in the TCG, but we did do the 25th. Now the 30th as a promotion will likely happen. I don't see why they wouldn't. It's like 2.5 years off of promotion, 2.5 on, 2.5 off. A lot of people are complaining about how long the 25th has been running with this announcement. However, I think it's pretty standard practice when it comes to Japanese companies and running an anniversary promotion. They start it kind of the year before and end the year after it all goes down. We've never reprinted a card that has Quarter Century Secret Rare versions in the same rarity ever, and we're not going to start. Please, collectors, we're not trying to destroy the collector community is what they're communicating, even though a lot of it's fallen out and a lot of people have walked away, as we'll show. This has kept some cards which have Quarter Century Secret Rare versions out of our products like Rarity Collection in the past. We're going to go around this by including cards in the pack that already have Quarter Century Secret versions like Super Poly Promethean Princess and Diabellstar. So they're getting even more modern with their reprints, and people are already freaking out over the Megatons with Diabellstar. I will say they have reprinted cards 2 months after the Megatons multiple times, so it doesn't mean it's excluded from the tins, but it could be excluded from the tins. We'll just leave them out of Quarter Century Secret Rare card pools. Cards like these will still be available with Quarter Century Bonanza as Platinum Secret, Prismatic Collector Rare Ultimates, and Secret Ultra Supers. I think this is actually a great move because we've seen even with the most coveted of staples, Rarity Collection has kept prices down for years on stuff like Triple Tactics Talents. So seeing Diabellstar in here, which is really great because it has upward motion with continued sets, kind of like Visa Starfrost and, you know, the entire lore for Branded, etc. The Albaz lore. I feel like this is kind of the star of the show and she'll continue to be relevant, so it's pretty nice to see this and a more modern pick at a reprint than any of the previous sets and get that attention along with the Fire Princess. So they actually lay it out in a graph for people to understand because they know it's a bit complicated. Luxury secret rare, always platinum or quarter in the slot from a separate 200 card nostalgia pool. Then 4 cards come from the 78 card pool. A super rare that's always super, an ultra with a 1 in 6 chance to be ultimate or collector, an ultra with a 1 in 6 chance to be ultimate or collector, and then a secret with a 1 in 4 chance to be platinum or quarter century secret rare. So that means you'll still see, if they keep the odds even. They haven't mentioned that throughout the entire time of equal odds, but let's assume and give them the benefit of the doubt that should be an average of 3/4 century secret rares per box and an average of 3 platinums within this extra slot from the 78 card pool, which also will eliminate some of these being available in quarter century secret, as they mentioned before, so that pool will actually grow smaller on these quarter century secret rares as the reveals go on. We can't get the exact math in this video. If there's a favorite card you want to see a quarter century secret rare before the anniversary period is over, speak up. Let everyone know, hey, I'm wearing the shirt. Right here, Konami. You cowards, do some LOB format. You're going to have plenty of junk pools within that 200 slot. I'm even going to make predictions that some of these cards in the luxury secret rare pool of quarter century secret specifically will be under $1 eventually, kind of like 10 promos, etc. So I think we're going to have junk quarters and then really chase after ones. So I keep bringing up math. I'm Math Man. It's what I do, and Market Math Man, they go hand in hand. For Rarity 1, it was 99 cents, 0.8 repeating per card. Rarity 1 was $1.11 per card repeating, and then Bonanza is the most expensive at $1 and almost 20 cents a card, 198 repeating. I feel like with this change that, it's not a pulling something over your eyes. They're giving extra high rarities, separate sets, combining sets. They're trying to offer more for this extra dollar to a degree, but you're still going to have a lot of junk you'll pull. However, I wouldn't freak out about that 200 card slot. Like I said, when it comes down to the set, mathematically to pull a place out of everything in that slot, assuming no short prints in 25ths, which we haven't seen Konami do yet. Again, we're always upset when precedent gets upset, but I'm hoping that they would not mess with that. Let's go ahead and see. So we're talking an average of 12 quarter centuries and 12 platinums per box, and we're looking at a pool of 200. So how many boxes to see everything? 16.6 repeating boxes, so 2/3 as it were. And so when we divide that by 12, that's a 1.38 cases. I think that's actually a little off. I think I messed up the math somewhere. So we do it live here. When it comes down to it, we have a pool of 200 of these, and we are looking at 12 per box. So we're looking at 12 times 12 boxes per case, we would assume, and we're dividing that 200 by 144 per case to see, yeah, that was correct, 1.38 cases repeating. So to get a playset of every 25th, we're looking, that is the number that I did see earlier, 4.16 repeating cases total to see a playset of every 25th. You know how hard it is to get a single 25th in the core sets? We're looking at 3 on average per case out of a pool of 25. So we're looking at like 8 cases to see a singular 25th in the main sets. And here we're seeing unavailable out of a 200 pool in 4 cases. Now let's actually see what vendors would probably pay in the set to crack it open, right? So it's $5.99 per pack, and we're assuming a 24 box, pack returns, like a 24 packs within a box. And so that would be at the retail this. I would say we can expect vendors to pay at maximum probably a little less than that, probably around $87 to $85. Let's go with 85. And let's say that that's per box when they're buying cases in mass, probably the hookup price. And so we're looking at that. And for that, let's say 5 cases to guarantee that. Well, that's going to be over the amount to be pulling that, but there's going to be RNG, etc. This is for averages. We're looking at 5,100 to be able to see that amount of cases that would start to bring in a playset of every single one, and the dollar amount would be lower in theory. I feel like that's actually not that much when we're talking playsets of every quarter century secret rare, and some of these you want playsets. You want one of for the extra deck, one of for the collection, and so those prices are going to vary. When we look at prices like this, what are we looking at? Estimated value pulled of a product. We are seeing that some of the hardest cards to pull in a 200 freaking card set only take this much for vendors to end up chopping up the set to try to start to approach on how they're going to make value. Meaning a lot of things are going to start to go down and be sold for cheap, and the higher end will start to be the magnet towards these prices. Meaning out of 200 cards, we're probably going to see several 25ths under $1 within this set. And also, with that amount I just said, there's also a full playset of those platinum secrets that are going to be right by the side that are actually really liked by the community in this art. I still call it brainwashing. It's diagonal. Oh my gosh, but when those first 10s came out, nobody loved them. But seriously, I do see why the community does like them to a degree, and when it comes down to it, that's the top 2 chases of this pool. So that entire pool is going to be out of like 4.2 cases for playsets of them, and that's a lot easier than you might have thought before. Now, it's not like Megatins where it's really cheap and easy access. This is still upped in price product where vendors are paying more per box than the average box, and so it's still going to be an interesting mix to watch it all play out, but it's better than you might have freaked out and thought about a 200 card set and how much junk there is to pull and all that versus the actual reality of how things will turn out. Now, let's see actually and revisit the predecessors to the set. Rarity Collection 1 is actually selling more today and has gone, all the 125 boxes are gone. I was doing a stream where I sold boxes at 105 to my community to either bust on stream or send them sealed. A YouTuber even opened one of the boxes and pulled pretty nice. But yeah, those are gone, and now 135 is the lowest, then 140. So this is actually causing people to reach back in the line and go to the beginning of the line. But Rarity Collection 2, no such luck. Again, this was a structural problem. This is like a setup of what, $180 per 18 pack box, and it's just odd numbers to people, and they don't want to spend all that much at once, and the set list didn't turn out as well. I still think it's low-key a banger and will long-term do well. But when we're talking like versus MSRP, it's under half. That means people are selling at a loss. People are selling this for less than they paid, which is a big ouchies, and the top cards are towards $40 within this set, which also isn't panning out too well for it. My last piece of advice is I'd personally be selling cards that could end up in the set. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't know the future of what Konami will do in print, but it seems to me like iconic cards are going to end up in here, and the community feels similarly long term because look at how hard Black Luster Soldier Collector Rare has fallen off. This was also really hyped up due to peak crush card activity of, lockdowns and people buying cardboard. The first Collector Rare here, and this was at 400 at one point without a competitive reprint and just the fear of it existing. We're seeing first editions of this card in English under 160. That's a 66% fall off over the years of this first edition card just because people anticipate it will get a competitive rarity for it. So I think I would actually be kind of looking at my collector rares and Starlights that haven't been 25th yet, because they also do sneakily mention from the main card pool available as all rarities except cards previously released as quarter century secret rares will not appear in that rarity again, but will appear in other rarities. They kind of mention that there's something about the art there, so you could see maybe a Stardust Dragon, in its art. Like, like, alter art. So they could, even though they've done a quarter century secret rare Stardust, they could do an alter art, for example. And bringing up Stardust, this is one that did get a 25th in the 10s, which everyone was like, well, this is way more rare, it'll still be valuable. The collector market as a whole, a lot of people fled from it, as well as easy access competition, nice looking versions being available. This is now under $100 when it used to be $250 plus. And yeah, it's just wild to watch the ride some of these have gone through. I remember when Rarity Collection 1 was first announced, and I gave the advice of like, Exodia here, like, it was the Megatons, my bad. The Megatons got announced with Exodia in it, and people were like, this one will still be so special. 25ths are like junk versions of it. The competitiveness of it, this was up towards 600. It was already, coming down from the announcement a little, but people were saying, hold diamond hands. And look at this, 260. That 50% plus fall off versus the 600 it once was at. Like, having easy access competition versions will do that, and if anything, this is actually stonked comparatively, still under $5, and you can get it. But like, when you have something that's comparable and still nice, people will settle, and then a lot of the traction towards the nicest version will go back towards a mid-max rarity. That's why I think stuff like collector rares, I would sell them off and get any I was interested in once we know the full set list, versus like playing into it. Like, this is 200 cards, and even though they do say nostalgia, I could see stuff like the Live and Evil Twins maybe making their way into here after that animation that they did, and things that they've given an animation towards, and trying to appeal to the modern along with the nostalgia within there. I hope a lot of past format love comes in here. I do think the set will likely do well for itself with that guarantee in every pack, and how good it will feel to open for people, and seeing the shiny cardboard. I think that this will do well as a set, most likely, but it still does come down to the card pool itself, and they're definitely doing their final cash in of 25ths here. It feels like after the 10s we'll have 50. Collecting every quarter century secret rare would be a monumental task, and over time maybe that's something people will end up doing. Only time will tell. But for now, with a lot of collectors having run because of sets like this, while others are like, awesome, more cheap cardboard for me. I did that with Allure, which very well could be in here. It's an interesting setup, and again, I think this set itself will do well, but the impact on the market and how things are going to go, that's what we're going to watch out for on the channel. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy these more in-depth looks and discussions, and not just reading off of the page the whole time. I enjoyed doing that and really trying to break down things, but again, we are assuming a lot on ratios and the math that we did, so keep that in mind too, that we don't know exactly how it'll pan out until we do see the numbers.